Hello students. Students, today we are starting the last and the 10th chapter of the book Moments, The Beggar. As the title says, this is a story of a beggar whose name is Lushkov. Students, you know the meaning of beggar? The beggar is a person who lives by asking for money or food. Yes, this is the story of a beggar whose name is Lushkov. He also always asks for money or food from others. He himself doesn't do any work but depends on others. Also, he is a drunkard. So, in the story, we will read how he changes his ways. What was the reason that he changes his ways and becomes a hardworking person? So, the story is based on the theme of transformation of an alcoholic through kindness, compassion, and selflessness. We will read in the story that how the kindness, compassion of the others changes a person, transforms a person. And here we will read how the beggar is changed, how he changes his ways. So now let's start. Kind sir, have pity, turn your attention to a poor hungry man. When the story starts, Lushkov is demanding, he's begging something from the person and he requesting to have pity on him. For 3 days I have had nothing to eat. I haven't 5 kopecks for a lodging. Kopecks is a monetary unit of Russia. And he says that for the last 3 days he had eaten nothing and he hadn't 5 kopecks for a lodging to stay somewhere to take shelter. I swear it before God. For 8 years, I was a village school teacher and then I lost my place through intrigues. Intrigues means conspiracy. And then he says that for the last 8 years, he was a school teacher and he lost his job because there was conspiracy against him. I fell a victim to calumny. Calumny means defamation of character. As it was said that he is not of a good character, so that's why he lost his job. It is a year now since I have had anything to do, and now he says that this year he has nothing to do. The advocate Sergey looked at the ragged fawn colored overcoat of the suppliant. Suppliant means the person who is a pleader here, at his dull drunken eyes, at the red spot on either cheek, and it seemed to him as if he had seen this man somewhere before. Now, the beggar Lushkov was begging before the advocate Sergey, and when the Sergey looked at him, he was in the ragged, he was in the torn out clothes, he was wearing fawn colored overcoat, and also he saw his dull drunken eyes, red spot on either cheek, and then it seemed to him that he had seen this man somewhere before. As he tried to remember that he had seen this man earlier, I have now had an offer of a position in the province of Kaluga. Province means district. The mendicant went on. Mendicant means here the beggar. But I haven't the money to get there. And now he again said that now he has got an offer of a position in the district of Kaluga, but he had no enough money to go there. Help me kindly. I am ashamed to ask, but I am obliged to by my circumstances. But now he also says that he also demands for his help, but also at the same time he says he was feeling very much shameful as he was asking money from someone. Sergey's eyes fell on the man's overshoes. Overshoes, a shoe worn over a normal shoes. His eyes, Sergey's advocates, his eyes fell on the man's overshoes, one of which was high and the other low, and he suddenly remembered something. Look here, it seems to me I met you the day before yesterday in Sadovia Street, he said. But you told me then that you were a student who had been expelled and not a village school teacher. Do you remember? Now, Sergey remembered he recalled that one day before he had met this man in the Sadovia Street, and then he told the man, the beggar, that I had met you one day before, and at that time you had told me that you are a student and you have been thrown out from the school and you are not a village school teacher, and today you are saying that you are a school teacher. No, that can't be so, mumbled the beggar, taken aback. Taken aback means now he was surprised. Then he mumbled that no, it could not be. I am a village school teacher, and if you like, I can show you my papers. Again, he said that he was a school teacher, and if he wanted, then he could show him his papers. Have done with lying. Now he said, you have lied enough now. You call yourself a student and even told me what you had been expelled for. Don't you remember? But now, Sergi, he was very much sure that he had met this man one day before, and he told him again that you are lying. And yesterday you had told me that you are a student, and at that time you also told me the reason why you were expelled from the school. Sergi flushed and turned from the dragged creature with an expression of disgust. Now he became angry and he was showing the expression of disgust as he was hating him. And he turned from him. This is dishonesty, my dear sir, he cried angrily. This is swindling. I shall send the police for you, damn you. Swindling means cheating. Now, again he told the beggar that this is just like a dishonesty, and also he was very much angry, and also he told him that this is a cheating, and also he will call the police. Sir, he said, laying his hand on his heart, the fact is I was lying. I am neither a student nor a school teacher. Now he spoke the truth, the beggar spoke the truth. He said that actually the fact is that he was lying, he was telling a lie, and now told him that he was neither a student nor a school teacher. All that was fiction. Formerly, I sang in a Russian choir and was sent away for drunkenness. And then he told him that earlier he sang in a Russian choir and he was a singer, and now he was sent away from because of his drunkenness, because of his habit of taking alcohol. But what else can I do? I can't get along without lying. No one will give me anything when I tell the truth. What can I do? And also, he told him that I have nothing to do except lying because nobody gives me work. I have nothing to do. That's why I have to tell the lies. If I tell the truth, then I will not get any work. Now, what he could do? What can you do? You ask what you can do, cried Sergi. Coming close to him, work, that's what you can do. You must work. But now Sergi told him that he could do work, he must do work. Work, yes. I know that myself, but where can I find work? But Beggar said that he is not able to find any work, and also he himself knew that he has to work. How would you like to chop wood for me? I wouldn't refuse to do that, but in these days, even skilled woodcutters find themselves sitting without bread. Now, Sergi told him he offered him that he could chop woods for him, he could cut woods for him, but at the same time, the beggar said that he would never refuse. But also, he said that in these days, even skilled woodcutters are not getting job; they are without any work. Then how he could be able to get the job? Will you come and chop wood for me? Yes, sir, I will. Very well, we'll soon find out. Sergi hastened along, rubbing his hands. He called his cook out of the kitchen. Then he told him that I will give you the work, you will chop wood for me. And then Sergi called his cook out of the kitchen. Here, Olga. Olga is the name of the cook. He said, take this gentleman into the woodshed and let him chop wood. Then the Sergi told Olga to take that gentleman into the woodshed and let him chop wood and give him the work of chopping the wood. The scarecrow of a beggar shrugged his shoulders as if in perplexity. Perplexity means inability to deal with, and went irresolutely, means hesitantly after the cook. Now, Beggar was resembling to a scarecrow. Actually, he shrugged his shoulders. Actually, he didn't want to do the work. He didn't want to do work, but even hesitantly, he went after the cook. It was obvious from his gait means manner of walking, that he had not consented to go and chop wood because he was hungry and wanted work, but simply from pride and shame and because he had been trapped by his own words. Now, his manner of walking showed that he didn't want to do any work. He didn't want to go for the chopping wood because he was hungry and also he wanted work, but simply he was had been trapped by his own words, as he had said earlier that he is not able to find the work. Now he was trapped in his own words. He had found the work and he had to do it now. It was obvious too that his strength had been undermined by vodka. Vodka means the drink that he had taken, alcohol, and that he was unhealthy and did not feel the slightest inclination for toil. Toil means hard work. Now, actually, it was clear that he had no strength to do any work. He was drunkard already and he was unhealthy and he didn't want to do any hard work. Sergei hurried into the dining room. From its windows, one could see the woodshed and everything that went on in the yard. Now Sarji wanted to see whether he is doing work or not. So he went to the dining room and from the window of the dining room he could see the woodshed and everything that was going in the yard. Standing at the window, Sarji saw the cook and the beggar come out into the yard by the back door and make their way across the dirty snow to the shed. Now he saw that Sarji saw that the cook and the beggar they both had entered the yard by the back door, and also they were making their way across the dirty snow to the shed. Olga glared wrathfully. Wrathfully means in anger. Olga looked at wrathfully at her companion. She looked at the beggar in anger, shoved him aside. Shoved means pushed roughly. Shoved him aside with her elbow. She pushed him with her elbow, unlocked the shed, and angrily banged the door. Then she unlocked the shed and she was in anger. She was in anger, and with anger she banged the door. Next, he saw the pseudo teacher seat himself. Pseudo means not real, imaginary. Pseudo teacher seat himself on a log and become lost in thought with his red cheeks resting on his feet. Then the Sarji saw that the pseudo teacher, the beggar, he sat on the log and he lost in his own thoughts, and he was resting with his he was thinking something. He was lost in his own thoughts, and his red cheeks were resting on his fist. The woman flung down an axe at his feet. Flung means threw. The woman, Olga, who was the cook, she threw an axe at the feet of the beggar, spat angrily, and judging from the expression of her lips, began to scold him. Now she judged him to look the expression of the man, and she started scolding him. The beggar irresolutely pulled a billet of wood towards him. Billet means a thick piece of wood. Irresolute means hesitantly. The beggar hesitantly pulled a billet of wood, a thick piece of wood, towards him, set it up between his feet, and tapped it feebly with the axe. The billet wavered and fell down. The beggar again pulled it to him, blew on his freezing hands, and tapped it with his axe cautiously. Cautiously means very carefully, as if afraid of hitting his overshoe or of cutting off his finger. The stick of wood again fell to the ground. Now, the beggar was trying to cut the wood, but he was not able to do so as he was not feeling well. He was looking very feeble, he was looking weak, but he was doing it very cautiously, very carefully, as he was feeling that he was afraid of hitting himself. He was afraid of hitting his overshoes or cutting off his fingers. Sergi's anger had vanished, and he now began to feel a little sorry and ashamed of himself for having set a spoiled, drunken, perhaps sick man to work at menial labor in the cold. But now Sergi's anger had vanished, it was disappeared, as he was feeling now that he had given to such a man who is a spoiled, drunken man. Perhaps he was sick also, he was not able to do work, but he had given him a menial work in the cold. So he was feeling very much shameful of himself. An hour later, Olga came in and announced that the wood had all been chopped. But After an hour, Olga informed that all the woods had been chopped. Good, give him half a ruble, said Sergey. And as he had cut the wood, so Sergey gave him half a ruble. He told Olga to give him half a ruble. If he wants to, he can come back and cut wood on the first day of each month. We can always find work for him. Also, he offered that if he wanted to come back and do the work, cut wood for them on the first day of each month, they would find work for him if he wanted. Now he was offered work by Sergey. On the first of the month, the waif means the homeless person who is very thin, who is poorly nourished. The waif made his appearance and again earned half a ruble, although he could barely stand on his legs. Now, on the first of every month, the beggar would come to the Sarji's house. He would earn half a ruble, although he was not able to stand on his legs. From that day on, he often appeared in the yard, and every time work was found for him. Now, after that, he was often seen in the yard, and every time he was given the work was found for him. Now he would shovel snow. Shovel is just like a tool, just like a tool, just like a spade. He would shovel snow. Now put the woodshed in order. Now beat the dust out of rugs and mattresses. Now he would be seen doing work. He would shovel snow. He would put woodshed in the order, and also he would beat the dust out of the rugs and mattresses. Every time he received from 20 to 40 kopecks. Now, every time whenever he would come to the house of Sarji, he would find the work and he would receive 20 to 40 kopecks. And once, even a pair of old trousers were sent out to him. And once he got a pair of old trousers also by Sarji. Now he was given the work. He had started earning the money, and also he got a pair of old trousers. So, students, this is enough for the day. Remaining part of the chapter we will do in the next class. Till then, goodbye and have a nice day.